But all of them are singing that populist tune to some extent. And I see a pendulum swinging back toward real human needs, and I think it's going to be up to young people in particular to keep it pushed that way. I would like to urge students to ask questions. You know, I was one of the ones that would just sit there with all my questions too scared to ask. So if you're that person, take a chance.
Hi, Dr. Mansour. You talked about having a specific vision for a utopian future, and you also talked about two specific channels for change. One is environmental change, and the other was a living wage. At some point, I've been influenced by the idea that there might be a conflict between these two channels of change. At some point, when you try to improve the environmental situation, you might be reducing jobs and reducing the possibility of people having a living wage. How do you deal with these possible conflicts and the infinite channels of change that you take towards a utopian future?
Yeah. We are faced often with what I call job blackmail. So we need to stop using coal. But there are a lot of people who depend on coal for their livelihood. We need to stop cutting down the forests, but there are a lot of people who depend on cutting down forests for their livelihood. I don't think this is an insurmountable problem. I believe that what we have is a distribution problem more than a scarcity problem in terms of adequate, meaningful work for all human beings. There's a lot of work to do. If we actually put people to work fixing our schools, fixing our collapsed infrastructure, providing quality health care for everyone, we could provide a lot of good jobs. And we could pay people a living wage. And we could grow our economy, incidentally. It's, you know, it's very interesting, but our economy, you may not have noticed, is in collapse right now. And one of the things they're suggesting is, well, we've got to infuse the economy with some spending. Well, one of the things we could spend it on is human needs. And in that process, create jobs, and those jobs could have living wage. If you give the workers on the bottom of the economic ladder decent wages, they will go out and spend that money, and it will grow our economy. Now, this may sound like old-fashioned Keynesian economics, but it got us out of one depression. And I think it can get us out of this one. So I am not convinced that sustainability and getting off our dependence on fossil fuels will mean we can't have good, decent jobs. Creating alternative energy, there are going to be a lot of good jobs in that. We haven't tried it.